The ocean near the hegemony's main landing site began to bubble and churn. Captain Sun of the cruiser Eternal Glory watched in horror from orbit as something massive broke the water's surface. It wasn't metal or stone or any material he recognized. It looked almost like living metal, flowing, shifting, yet solid. "What is that?" he whispered as the enormous structure rose higher, water cascading from its gleaming surface. Lieutenant G checked the sensors with shaking hands. "It's not registering as technology, sir. Our systems can't categorize it." On the command deck of the flagship, Admiral Du stared at the same scene, his scales pale with fear. More structures were emerging now, from oceans, from forests, from what had seemed like ordinary mountains. Earth was transforming before their eyes. "All ships, maintain position," he ordered, trying to keep his voice steady. "Do not fire unless fired upon." In the now empty city of New Busan, Ambassador Taz stood with Director Song and Elder Jin on the roof of their building, watching the distant horizon, where something massive was rising from the ground. It towered higher than any structure Tai had ever seen, its surface rippling with strange patterns of light. "What are those things?" Tai asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Earth's true form," Song replied. "What you're seeing is just a small expression of it, like fingers stretching after a long sleep." Elder Jin pointed to the sky. "Look there." Above them, 3 hegemony ships hung motionless in the atmosphere. As they watched, tendrils of what looked like living light reached up from the ground, gently wrapping around the vessels. "Your ships aren't being destroyed," Jin explained. "Just held." Tay's communicator burst to life with panicked reports. Ships losing power across the fleet. Strange energy fields surrounding their vessels. Matter itself seeming to bend and flow around them. "Follow me," Song said. "It's time you understood what Earth truly is." They took Tai to an ancient temple built into the side of a mountain. Inside, past stone corridors lit by strange glowing plants, they entered a vast circular chamber. The floor was transparent crystal, revealing a pulsing blue light far below. "This is one of Earth's nerve centers," Jin explained. "One of the places where its consciousness is closest to the surface." Tai watched as the blue light below them formed patterns, shapes that somehow felt like language. "It's communicating," Song said. "It wants to show you something." The light grew brighter, and suddenly Tai felt his mind expanding. He saw images of Earth's history, not just human history, but deeper time. He saw previous civilizations rise and fall. He saw other alien visitors, some peaceful, some not. He saw how Earth had dealt with threats before, sometimes gently, sometimes not. "Earth has been awake for billions of years." Jin's voice seemed to come from far away. "Humanity evolved alongside it, gradually forming a bond. We are its voice to the stars." The vision shifted, showing Ta the true extent of Earth's defenses. Living metal structures hidden beneath oceans, energy networks spanning the entire planet. Technology so advanced it appeared magical, integrated with biological systems in ways his people couldn't comprehend. When the vision ended, Tai fell to his knees, gasping. "Your entire fleet," he said weakly. "Earth could destroy it in moments." "Yes," Song nodded, "but that's not what Earth wants. It's not aggressive by nature. It simply protects itself and humanity." In orbit, Admiral Du was receiving strange transmissions from across the fleet. Ships reported their systems coming back online, but with changes. Star charts appeared with new navigation routes. Data repositories filled with limited but clear information about Earth and humanity. "It's giving us knowledge," Lieutenant G said in wonder. "But only specific knowledge." A message appeared on the main screen. "Return to your POBL. Tell them Earth is not available." On the planet's surface, Ambassador Ta stood with Director Song outside the temple. The massive structures were slowly retreating back into oceans and ground, though some remained visible, a reminder of Earth's power. "Your fleet will be released," Song explained. "Most of them, anyway." Earth wants witnesses to return and tell your hegemony what they found here. And what exactly did we find? Tai asked. A boundary, Jin said simply. A line in space that your kind should not cross again. As if in response, the ground beneath them vibrated gently. Not threatening, but present. Alive. Earth has chosen to let you live, Song said. It wants your people to know that humans aren't alone here. We never were. We're partners with something ancient and powerful. Ta looked up at the sky where his ships hung suspended by threads of living light. My leaders won't believe this. They will, Jin smiled, because Earth is sending back proof. Ambassador Ta stood before the Galactic Hegemony Council, his once proud posture now humble. The Grand Chamber was silent as the 7 council members stared down at him from their elevated seats. High Chancellor Quan, the eldest and most powerful, leaned forward with narrowed eyes. Ambassador, we have reviewed the preliminary reports from your mission to Earth. They are difficult to believe, Chancellor Quan said. Ta nodded slowly. I understand, Chancellor. I would not believe it myself if I had not witnessed it firsthand. The wall behind him lit up with images captured by the fleet's recording systems. Massive structures rising from Earth's oceans, buildings reshaping themselves, and the strange living light that had held their ships immobile. We lost 4 ships, Admiral Yoon said sharply from his council seat. 4 ships that stay behind on that planet. They weren't destroyed, Ta clarified. Earth kept them as observers, and to learn about our technology. You speak of this planet as if it's a living being, said Councillor Min, her voice skeptical. Because it is, Tay replied simply. Earth is conscious in ways we cannot fully comprehend. The humans are not its masters. They are its partners, its caretakers. He placed a small crystal on the display table. It was a gift from Elder Jin, proof of Earth's nature that the Council could not deny. When activated, it projected a clear message in the hegemony's own language. Earth and its solar system are so very ein. Do not return uninvited. This message came directly from Earth itself. Chancellor Quan asked. Yes, the human leaders, Director Song and Elder Jin, explained that Earth has been awake for billions of years. It has encountered other spacefaring species before us and destroyed them. Admiral Yoon asked. Some, yes, those who came with conquest in mind. Ta paused. We were lucky. Earth chose to send us back with a message rather than eliminate our fleet. The council chamber remained silent as the implications sank in. The hegemony had existed for 1,000 years, expanding steadily across the galaxy. Never had they encountered a power that could so easily neutralize their technology. What are their demands? Councillor Min finally asked. Simple. Recognition of Earth's sovereignty, a non-aggression pact, and limited diplomatic relations to begin, with the possibility of trade in the future. And if we refuse? Chancellor Quan's voice was quiet. Ta looked directly at him. Then they will not be as merciful next time. I've seen what awakens beneath Earth's surface. We should be grateful they allowed any of us to return. 3 days later, the treaty was signed. For the first time in its history, the galactic hegemony formally recognized a planet's right to remain independent without any form of tribute or obligation. As the Earth delegation prepared to depart from the hegemony capital world, Tai approached Director Song. Your Earth has changed everything, he said. The hegemony has never known fear before. Song smiled gently. Fear is not what Earth wants to inspire. Understanding is enough. Will humans now expand into the galaxy with Earth's power behind them? Ta couldn't keep the worry from his voice. We've been exploring quietly for centuries, Song admitted. But conquest isn't our way. We learned from Earth that partnership is stronger than domination. On their return journey to Earth, Song and the human delegation stopped their ship at the edge of their solar system. Through the viewports, they could see the distant blue dot of their home planet. Do you think the hegemony will honor the agreement? asked Jun, a young diplomat on his first mission. They will, Song nodded. They've placed warning beacons at every approach to our system. No hegemony ship will cross that boundary. And the other galactic powers, when they learn about Earth. Song looked thoughtfully at the stars. That's why Earth kept those 4 ships. To learn, to prepare. For thousands of years, we've been the caretakers while Earth slept deeply. Now it's awakening more fully. The galaxy will soon know that humans aren't alone on their world, and never were. Back on Earth's surface, Elder Jin stood on a beach, watching the sunset. He could feel the gentle pulse beneath his feet, Earth's consciousness acknowledging his presence. They've signed the treaty, he said aloud, though he knew Earth already sensed this. A new era begins. The sand beneath him shifted slightly, forming a perfect circle around where he stood. Not a threat, but a sign of agreement. Jin smiled and placed his palm on the ground. Yes, he said to the ancient consciousness beneath him. Soon we'll be ready to properly introduce ourselves to the galaxy, not as a primitive species to be conquered, but as the voice of Earth among the stars. The tide came in gently, washing away the circle in the sand. But the understanding remained, a bond between a planet and its people that no distant empire could ever break. Ambassador Ta stood on the command deck of the massive ship, looking at the blue planet called Earth through the giant window. His green scales shimmered under the lights as he adjusted his uniform. The galactic hegemony had sent him to bring this newly discovered world into their empire. How much longer until we reach communication range? Tai asked. Lieutenant Hyun checked the glowing displays. 1 hour, Ambassador. Our scans show primitive technology. They've barely reached their own moon. Ta nodded with satisfaction. These missions were always the same. Find a developing world, overwhelm them with superior technology, and offer protection. Some planets resisted briefly, but all eventually accepted their place in the hegemony. Prepare the standard first contact package, Tai ordered. Emphasize the benefits of joining us and minimize the mandatory resource contributions. The bridge crew worked efficiently around him. The diplomatic fleet consisted of 20 ships, far more than needed for a primitive world, but the hegemony believed in making impressive first appearances. Ambassador, called out the communications officer suddenly. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. They've detected us much earlier than expected. Tai raised an eyebrow. Put it through. The message was simple text, translated by their computers. Stay away from Earth. Silence fell across the bridge before Todd laughed. That's it. No greeting, no questions about who we are. Nothing else. Sir, confirmed the communications officer. Just those 4 words. Send our standard diplomatic response. Inform them we come in peace as representatives of the galactic hegemony. Hours passed with no further communication from Earth. The fleet continued its approach, sensors scanning the planet constantly. This is strange, Lieutenant Hyun said, studying the data. Their military response seems minimal. A few primitive spacecraft have launched, but they're not approaching us or taking attack positions. Perhaps they recognize their helplessness. Ta suggested. Continue approach. As the fleet entered Earth orbit, they detected something odd. The planet's major cities showed significantly lower population readings than intelligence had suggested. Where are all the humans? Ta wondered aloud. A small delegation finally requested permission to dock with Ta's flagship. The ambassadorial team waited in the reception chamber as the Earth shuttle arrived. Ta had expected fearful or awestruck primitives. Instead, 5 calm humans in simple clothes entered, led by a woman who introduced herself as Director Song. Welcome to Earth space, she said with a slight bow. Though I must remind you that you were warned to stay away. Director Song's expression didn't change. The warning wasn't for our protection, Ambassador. It was for yours. Before Tai could respond, Lieutenant Hyun rushed into the chamber. Ambassador, we're detecting energy spikes across Earth's surface and oceans. Something's happening. Director Song checked her simple wrist device. Right on schedule. What is the meaning of this? Ta demanded. Are you attempting some primitive attack? No attack, Song replied calmly. Earth is simply waking up. On the main view screen, strange lights appeared across Earth's surface. The ocean began moving in unnatural patterns. Impossible, whispered Hyun, checking readings. The energy signatures are coming from deep underground and beneath the ocean floor. What exactly is happening? Tai asked, trying to hide his growing concern. Director Song's gaze was steady. Humanity isn't alone on Earth. We never were. We share our world with something ancient, something that was here long before us. We evolved alongside it, learned to communicate with it, became its caretakers and companions. What are you talking about? Tae's voice rose. Earth isn't just a planet, Song explained. It's alive in ways your science doesn't understand. It sleeps most of the time, and we help protect that sleep. But when threatened, she gestured to the view screen where massive structures were now visibly rising from Earth's oceans. It wakes up. Alarms blared throughout the ship as sensors detected objects moving toward the fleet from Earth. 3 ships in the outer formation just lost all power, reported a frantic crew member. We tried to warn you, Song said simply. One warning is all Earth gives. Now it's too late to leave peacefully. Tai stared at the view screen in horror as living metal tentacles gently wrapped around one of his ships, disabling it without destroying it. What do you want? He asked, his arrogance replaced by fear. For now. For you to understand that Earth is not available for conquest. We've dealt with others like you before. Director Song looked almost sympathetic. Those who came before you never returned to tell your empire about us. Earth decided that was inefficient. This time, it wants to send back messengers. The landing party descended toward Earth in 3 shuttlecraft, each carrying 20 hegemony personnel. Ambassador Ta watched from the lead shuttle as they broke through white clouds to see rolling green hills and distant mountains. The landing zone was an empty field outside what their maps identified as New Busan. No military presence, Lieutenant Hyun observed, checking the sensors. No weapons detected, just a small welcoming party. Tai adjusted his diplomatic robes. The human's strange warning and Director Song's cryptic words had unsettled him, but he wouldn't show weakness. 3 hegemony ships had lost power temporarily, but technicians reported it was likely just interference from Earth's unusual magnetic field. Remember your training, Tai instructed his team. We show strength while offering friendship. The hegemony has absorbed thousands of worlds this way. The shuttles touched down, kicking up dust. When the doors opened, Tai was struck by Earth's scent, rich soil and vegetation, so different from the sterile air of space vessels. 6 humans waited calmly nearby. Director Song among them. Welcome to Earth itself, she said as Tai approached. We've prepared accommodations in the city. Where are your military leaders? Tai asked, looking around at the empty landscape. Your planetary defense forces. Song smiled slightly. We believe in meeting visitors personally before bringing them to our population centers. The humans provided ground transport, wheeled vehicles that Tai found amusingly primitive. As they traveled toward New Busan, he noticed the countryside was largely empty. Your population seems sparse, he commented. Most people moved inland temporarily, replied Song. Standard protocol when we have visitors. The city itself appeared equally deserted when they arrived. Buildings stood silent, streets empty except for occasional maintenance workers. The humans led them to a large building in the center of the city, a hotel. They explained, prepared specially for the hegemony delegation. You'll be comfortable here, said Song. Tomorrow we'll begin formal talks. After the humans left, Ta sent teams to survey the surrounding area. Lieutenant Hyun coordinated the effort while Tai established communication with the fleet. The situation is strange, Admiral Du, Tai reported. The city is virtually abandoned. Admiral Du's hologram flickered with interference. We're detecting unusual energy patterns across the planet, and 3 more ships have experienced system failures. Nothing critical, but concerning. Later that evening, Hyun burst into Ta's room, face pale with alarm. "Ambassador, you need to see this," he said, activating his portable display. It showed footage from one of their teams investigating the city's outskirts. The recording showed an ordinary street that suddenly changed. The ground rippled like water, and a section of pavement simply rearranged itself, forming a different pattern. The hegemony soldiers in the footage jumped back in shock. "What technology is this?" Ta whispered. "Our analysis shows no technology at all," Hyun replied. "No energy signatures, no machinery, nothing we can detect. It's as if the matter itself decided to change." A soft knock interrupted them. Director Song entered without waiting for permission, accompanied by an older human male who introduced himself as Elder Jin. "Your people are exploring rather energetically," Song observed. "Finding anything interesting?" Ta gestured to the paused recording. "What is this? What happened here?" Elder Jin sat down calmly. "Earth is adjusting to your presence. It's curious about you. You speak as if the planet itself is conscious," Ta said skeptically. "Not in ways you would immediately understand," Jin replied. "But yes, Earth has awareness, and humanity evolved in partnership with it. We're its caretakers, its voice, its hands." Ta laughed sharply. "Do you expect me to believe your primitive species has some mystical connection to your planet?" Instead of answering, Elder Jin placed a small wooden box on the table. It opened by itself, revealing a glowing crystal. "Place your hand above it," Jin instructed. Reluctantly, Ta did so. Immediately, his mind filled with images, ancient civilizations rising and falling on Earth, strange structures beneath oceans, and humans gradually forming a bond with something vast and patient. Todd pulled his hand back, gasping. "What was that?" "A brief introduction," Song said. "Earth remembers everything that has ever happened on its surface. Every species, every civilization, every visitor from the stars." Hyun's communicator chimed urgently. He listened, then turned to Todd with wide eyes. "Ambassador, something massive is emerging from the ocean near our main landing site. And the city, the buildings are changing." Through the window, Ta watched in horror as buildings in the distance slowly shifted shape, materials flowing like liquid before resolidifying in new configurations. "What is happening?" he demanded.